Hello everybody, it's SOD Mad Haven here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Rodger, the E75 TS, one of the most recent premiums added to World of Tanks for the Hot Wheels event. Hot Wheels, you know, growing up we all loved them, and I love the fact that I get to play with them and actually play with them. And we're talking in game here. But starting off, the E75 TS, this is a tank that I have been excited for them to add it in the game whenever they released it on PC, probably 9 months ago, along with the T-54E2 and the newest tank destroyer, the TS5. They're just wonderful tanks and just completely in their own category. So, starting off, let's go ahead and take a look into the modules here. Your horsepower per ton is at 16 with a 45 top speed. Now, remember, this is a heavy tank with 45 top speed, 16 power to weight. This thing is fast. It is stupidly fast. I've had a lot of games where I'm the first in combat and one of the first to die too. Reverse speed of 18, 20% fire chance. You can get your fire chance down to about, I don't know, 12% with a fully trained crew. Coming over to gun, we have got 0.38 accuracy on 100 meters. The accuracy is not the greatest, but 0.38, tolerable. You can take long range shots, you can snapshot. It's not going to bug you too much, but the consistency and inconsistency, it's going to be like a 50-50. But if you let your aiming reticule go all the way in, you should have no problem. Now, the reload time at 13.5. It's a long reload. You can get it down to about 10.68 with a fully trained crew with Brothers in Arms and running a gun rammer, ventilation, and running a premium consumable for the 10% increase. Now, this tank has got 15 degrees of elevation plus 8 degrees of gun depression. 8 degrees is really nice. You can work with it pretty well. Now, traverse speed at 26. This thing, it doesn't feel like a heavy. You range at 390. 390 allows you to maintain yourself. You can spot out your own targets, unlike some other tanks, the Russian categories. Some of them have 370 to 350, depending on the one that you choose. 22 degrees of turret rotation, stacked on top of the 26 degrees of track rotation. Light tanks aren't going to be able to just go in circles around you in this. Signal range at 710. It's pretty low, but still helps out. Assist damage for spotting. Ammunition, the APCR, which is the premium round, it's phenomenal at 1375. I actually load more premiums in this tank because they have a base penetration value of 282, and the standard shells have got a base penetration of 227 with an 1100 meter velocity. The high explosives at 1100 meters, I believe they have 60 millimeters of penetration. They work out pretty well, and just a tip, always load some high explosives. You never know. You could end up against, like, let's say, a waffle or, a lightly armored tank, and just having high explosives helps out. Plus, if you're trying to just track somebody or get them out of a haul down position, or if they're side scraping on you, throw some shots into the side. Plus, look at the locations of the ammo rack. If you're going head on against somebody, you're not going to get ammo. Now, the armor of this tank, this is something that it's really iffy. The hull of this tank reminds me of a Panther, the Panther 2 specifically, just because of the 120 top plate. But 230 on the turret, it's a really nice turret with 230, 210, 180. It's just a nice, good, thick, well-angled turret. Now, jumping over to the top plate here at 120, then you have 95 in the lower plate. So it's strong as long as you're using your gun depression and covering your low plate. However, this tank, the benefits is the 80 millimeters of side armor and plus the side skirt. Right there. Those little shields that are 5 millimeters, they're going to really slow down APCR, and they're just going to help negate penetration towards you. You can kind of over angle a tad bit because of the side skirts on this. So they're just little meshes on the side, little fences. But still, it's going to stop high explosives from doing maximum damage. Now, for the main package, 227 base, 282 premium, 60 high explosive. Yeah. So 360 alpha damage on the shells. You know, your high rolls are going to be comparable to about a 120, and your low rolls are going to be around a high roll of a 90 millimeter. But overall, let's just go ahead and jump into a match. And I've already played a few matches in this tank, and I gotta say, I am very happy that it's here. So, the other tank, the TS5, the way to get that tank is by buying the 25 level jump. It's going to be about a 1200 gold, so about 50 bucks. But you get the season pass, plus you get the TS5. I will be putting out another review of the TS5, possibly tomorrow, not today. Because the Rodger Dodger, I'm just excited to be able to. That dude, it's cool. The tank's got neon lights. On darker maps, it's kind of a little overwhelming, but it's pretty cool. Can't really complain about it because you know it's Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels are awesome. And right there, if you look at the bottom of the turret, you'll see the neon, and then down below the meshes, more neon. It's all neon blue, and then coming out of the exhaust pipes, look at that, just nice bright orange. It can be a little annoying, and at the same time, it's pretty cool. So there's tier 10s. So we're playing bottom tier. Let's see what we can do. So I'm probably gonna be taking this to the same spot that I did the review in the Kurt one. Ooh, hello. How are you today, Chieftain? Oh, yeah, that actually is. It's a T95 Chieftain. The Valor. I mean, just look at this top speed. I mean, look at everyone behind us. We're going to be the first ones into the fight. So, getting positioned extremely quick. So, with the 227 base pin, you usually don't need to load in premiums unless you're taking a look at something really thick. As of recent, Andre the Giant, everyone's starting to learn the weak points of that tank, and if you don't know, it's actually the lower plate. But if you shoot the top part of the lower plate, that's over 240 millimeters worth of armor. The aim just a little bit lower, like a foot. It's only 125, and you'll be able to go right through it. So we're not going to get much of shots over here. We're going to take a look at what's on left. E100, Confanza 50 ton, and then T5042. There goes Blade, Iron Rain. Took it a little bit too early. Pretty sure he was hauled down. But we tried anyways. Ah, slightly if we aim for the rear. Look at that. That's a nice little high roll. 410. Makes you forget that you're shooting a 105 sometimes. So I just recently completed my contract for the sharpshooter, and I'm just excited to jump back into 8s. 8s, 7, and 6s. And I'm going to be able to put out a lot more videos now because of it. I kind of slacked off for a little while. I've been playing a little bit of World War Z. If you haven't tried that game, it's a really good game. I recommend it, especially right now. I think there's a few days left on the sale. For $25, you get the season pass for all the DLC plus some bonus guns in game. And just the hordes are tremendous. They're huge. Like in the course of 20 minutes, killing like 1,000 plus zombies. It's gnarly. Now I'm a little hesitant. I'm trying to push this corner here. I don't know if I want to or not. Because we still have the Centurion that's up here, and we still have the Iron Rain. You know what? Screw it. We're just going to go ahead and just... Screw it. Yep, here we go. Ah, there's the mistakes. Not paying attention to the camouflage. Now, maybe if I was running binoculars or coated optics, that would have turned out different. I am running a gun rammer, vertical stabilizers, and improved ventilation. So, the 390 view range with my premium consumable vents and my crew, I'm probably lucky to see like 450. But if I would have had coated optics on, I probably would have been able to break around 470 to 480. And with that much view range, it would be an overcap, and we'd probably be able to spot out the ISU 152. But since we weren't, well, hey, you know, we all have bad games. Overall, this tank is still really solid. Maps like this, I haven't really... I probably only have 10 or so matches in the rodger, so the E75 TS. And so far, I'm really liking this tank. I got it probably 3 days after the Hot Wheels event got launched. And within the first 4 matches I played it, I put a mastery badge on it for over 4,000 dealt and like 3,000 assisted. And keep in mind, that was middle tier, so against tier 9s. Monstrous game. So we're going to put one more in this tank and, you know, hopefully get a top tier match. I would love to have a little good match to be able to show off. But I'm not like that. We're just going to record over. I'm going to have a nice little conversation with myself and, well, have the party muted and everybody else not knowing what I'm saying or being able to coordinate well. You know how that goes. Basically just another green player. If they're green, they're going to die. Just remember that. Just kidding. That's a horrible thing to say. There's a lot of people out there that are really good. So, right away, being able to jump straight into a next match. Last match was kind of a steamroll. That's been happening a lot more. Honestly, I think the best way to fix steamrolls would be to increase tier rates. Not by a lot, but just make it to where penetrations are more consistent. And just to make auto ricochets a little bit more effective for tier 8s whenever they're versing tier 10s. Or to give them like a passive increase to penetrations and armor values when versing 10s. That way they're kind of on par rather than pulling out and just, you know, your top plate, even whenever you're fully maxed out gun depression or whatever gets penetrated. Those are not fun matches. So, waiting on these two. Going ahead, talking about the TS5. The TS5 that they added, whew, man, these two new premiums. I haven't played any of the light tanks yet. I'm just waiting to get one of those out of the tree. So for the seasonal rankings. And those light tanks, they look really good. They have base view range of like 410, which for tier 8, phenomenal. That's stupidly high. The only other light tank I know that has that would be like the Hawk 30, the Agel. And I too marked that a few months back and then just stopped playing it. I need to start playing it again. It's such a great tank. But the rodger, you know, if you run coated optics, you're going to have really good view range. Well, not really good, decent view range. You're going to be able to spot out people that are shooting you that are out in the open. If they're behind bushes, you're not really going to be able to see them too much. But I like to run vertical stabilizers to counteract the 0.38 gun dispersion value. Because you have gun lane drive and then you have vertical stabilizers. If you stack both of those, It's going to make your aiming really fast. Because vertical stabilizers, it just decreases your bloom overall, making your bloom a little bit smaller. So whenever you come to a stop, it's kind of a trade-off. You choose between how fast you aim or, you know, if you have less of a bloom. But if you have a really good crew, like I think on I believe in my Germans I have snapshot and smooth ride, which makes it to where vertical stabilizers is just going to make it really small of a bloom. It's like a 30% decrease overall. And that stacks on really well. And for German crews, I'm kind of a 50-50 on pain tolerance or controlled impact. Controlled impact, you need a really thick frontal hull. And then ramming somebody, make sure that you run a... You know what? Yeah, we're going to do a ramming video. That's going to be a fun one. What tanks can we use to ram? The E50M. There's a couple of them out there. So, Blade's just taking a minute, so we're going to go ahead and start. And the way that board looked, we might be top tier. Fingers crossed. I mean, either way, I'm still going to go city, whether it's 10s or it's 9s. So the top plate of the E75 TS, Rodger Dodger, at 120 millimeters, you can't really rely on trying to pop out and use that as much as you can. You want to try and rely on your side armor. Because of your side skirts, the little meshes on the side. The 5 millimeters, it does provide additional protection. Now, standard AP rounds, they will readjust by 5 degrees. So when they hit armor, they will slowly turn into the armor by 5 degrees. Heat shells, they don't turn into it at all. If they hit a mesh, they're going to lose a lot of penetration values. I believe it's up to every centimeter they lose like 5% of their overall penetration. And these are 5 millimeters. So that's like a 20% negation the heat rounds. And then APCR, whenever they make contact, they'll readjust by about 2 degrees overall. And you can find all of this with the Europe World of Tanks. They're really good in sharing information. A lot of their videos are older, but hey, it's always nice to check out and get updated, right? So as of recent, over here on Fisherman's Bay, I'm becoming a fan of this position right here. Just because you can pop out. You're not going to spot everyone coming through those bushes, but they're not going to spot you either once they're there. They have to come out in the open before they can spot you. Unless you have a medium tank to your left just sitting there spotting you out. Now, I'm a little excited. I want to show up the side armor in this. Let's go. $80 millimeters of side armor. You can get some really nasty angles on this. Just the speed of this tank is ridiculous. A little bit of an average roll. A little bit low for the base damage, but here we come. Oh? Doesn't want to shoot? Okay. We'll come to you. Might be making a mistake because he's an autoloader, but hey. Gotta learn somehow. So far that's 2 shells gone. Maybe 3. Ooh, over-angled just a tad bit. We're not going to worry about him. That autoloader's the biggest worry right now. We'll hit the KV-4 later. Again, we'll ram this guy. Rest of his health, allowing us to use this shell to put into the KV-4. And we tracked him. So now we're just going to pull back up around. Give him our side armor here. And he's loading premium, so he's just going to go right through. And that's starting to become a little bit more... Yeah, premium shells, it's becoming more common for people just to load pure premium. The game's not as fun as it used to be. I mean, as I look right here, I can see that, yeah, I was way off angle. And he probably just went right through the side like it was nothing. But hey, you know, we went in. We did 1,821 damage. 110 assisted. Don't even know where the assisted came from, but that's how it goes. Now, the Rodger Dodger, you know, I wish I could have got a better match. I might post an Ace Tanker gameplay whenever I get one. But overall, this tank is fantastic. I like the color scheme. I like the way this one looks. I am probably going to be buying the unskinned variant as well. Just because, yeah, having two of these in the garage would just be nice. To be able to take one in and just go at it. I mean, just look at this thing. You got the little engines on the side. I don't even know if those count as additional armor or not, but you know what? It's pretty cool features. Now, in the rear here, I do want to say the engine bay right there in the back is spaced armor, but I don't think it is. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it's not. Might be. No, there's no armor model behind it. So if they do hit that little spot right there, that's only 40 millimeters. High explosives will just go right through it. But I mean, honestly, how often are you reversing in the battle? This tank, though, it is fun. It is a really fun tank. I have enjoyed every single moment in it, even the ones that I just lost in. Now, I do recommend buying this. It is fun, or just grinding it out here in the Seasons tab. This is the last tank, you know, all the way down the 100 here. This is the 100 reward. Do I think it should be the 100 reward? Yes, I do. It is fun. It is cool. It's just a little ball of joy, you know? German armor with 8 degrees of gun depression. Basically everything the Tiger II needs to be. But I'd rather have the Tiger II hull on this than the Panther. So, you know, thanks for watching. I hope you tune in tomorrow for either a ramming tutorial or the TS5 review. Have a good day.